Hi, good morning, Mr. Iger. I'm still Justin Danhoff, still from the National Center for Public Policy Research. Mr. Iger, responding to a question that we asked you last year, you said that Disney's media outlets were essentially free from bias. Our skepticism about your news organization's unwillingness to be politically neutral, already shared by many millions of America, is now loudly joined by the topic of this meeting, apparently, the President of the United States. The President has labeled ABC, quote, an enemy of the American people, and often uses the term fake news. WikiLeaks has provided plenty of evidence that you are not requiring your news organizations to be politically neutral. After ABC News' George Stephanopoulos interviewed Clinton Cash author Peter Schweizer, WikiLeaks exposed communications appearing to show operatives for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign working with Stephanopoulos to delegitimize Schweizer and his work. These have gone not refuted, and that's not journalism. It's just not outsiders who have these concerns. An ESPN host claims the network is obsessed with bashing conservatives. One of the hosts, he recently said, and I quote, "I feel like there's so many people I work with that every show, every topic, every angle on it is hoping to be right, destroying the political right on every single thing that comes up. I hear it every single day." Agreeing, his co-host asked, "Can you imagine if I teased this show and said, 'Coming up, why all of you are wrong about Trump and why he's awesome?'" To which the host replied, "We wouldn't make it through the commercial." Why is this the pervading culture at ESPN? It's a sports network. Last year, Mr. Iger, you told us that bias in your operations is, quote, very, very rare. The examples we presented to you just now argue instead that bias is pervasive and exists at the top levels. It's not rare at all. The election of President Trump shows the power of a frustrated base that is at best ignored by your elitist networks and at worst ridiculed. Now that these masses have a voice, one that largely rejects your media narrative, you have a choice to make. You can continue to cater primarily to liberal coastal elites or make your company's media welcoming to all Americans. What's it going to be?
Thank you. I'm going to disagree with just about everything you said, but I'm not going to address everything you said. First of all, the charge that ESPN is exhibiting significant political bias in its programming is just completely exaggerated. You're taking, I think, one small communication and you're blowing it up into something that sounds a lot larger than it is. Watch ESPN, you're not going to see political bias at ESPN as a for instance. As it relates to ABC News has reported to me either directly or indirectly for almost 25 years. I'm an expert on ABC News, and I can stand here today, look you in the face and say that I am proud of the efforts of ABC News. I respect ABC News, and I believe they work very, very hard to present news in an extremely fair way. There are always going to be people, yourself included, perhaps the President, who are going to believe that it is not being presented in a manner that is consistent with their own beliefs. That doesn't necessarily mean they are being unfair. And I think what's happened here is that there's been an indictment made about the press simply because some of the press do not necessarily toe the line with positions that are being taken by others. We're lucky, we're privileged as citizens of the United States to live in a society where the press can act in an adversarial role in a number of different ways. There's a vital check and balance societally, whether it's the business, whether it's the society overall, whether it's the government. The press's position is not necessarily to agree with everything that is being done. And when they do that, they're suddenly, I think, branded as biased. I don't agree with that. Nor do I agree that they are an enemy of the people.
Well, they're adversarial now that there's a conservative in office, but most will argue the last 8 years it was a joke.
If you were to ask many people in the Obama administration, they would cite numerous cases when ABC News was their adversary. I'm proud of the fact that news can be an adversary. And again, as citizens of the United States, just look at the Bill of Rights. Freedom of the press is very specifically spelled out. That is freedom to be adversaries, even to those that are in power. That's vital. Anyway, thank you.